Well, good morning everybody, and what a beautiful morning we've got this morning. The wind has dropped and it's lovely and warm. As you can see, I'm giving the pond another bashing with my pond vac. The algae is very difficult to get off the bottom, but it has sort of taken it off in patches here and there, so I might just I've got some Aqua Resolve in the shed. I might just chuck a few handfuls of that in on top of where it is, see if that shifts it. It is taking some moving, I must say. I don't mind a bit of algae, but it was getting out of hand. And like I say, it's not the long growing stuff, it's only the short growing algae. Now, a lot of people have asked me from my pond vac how I return the water back to the pond. Well, I've got the outlet connected to this here, and I've made this. It is actually in my videos, but this is what I've made. And it's on a similar scale. It runs pretty similar to a sieve filter. The water comes out here, drops on the mesh. The water goes through the mesh, but keeps the algae on the mesh. And under that, I've got a couple of sponges laid down. All this slowly gets pushed down into this chamber here. There is a wall there, a partition wall that the mesh is resting on. It slowly gets pushed down into that, and it does actually get full. But then out the bottom I've got to return to the pond. Now, it doesn't stop the real fine stuff. It takes out all the big stuff, but it doesn't stop the fine stuff. But I don't mind about that because my RDF will take that out. It'll be gone in a couple of hours. But that's what I'm doing at the minute. I'm just giving it a bash with a hoover, and like I say, I might just chuck a bit of the old Aqua Resolve in there and see if that does anything at it. Because it does sink, you don't mix it first, you can put it straight in your pond. It might drop in among that algae and sort of do a bit more at it. But that's what I'm going to try. It's taking it all off the lilies. Them lilies down there that's just come through and coming up was covered in algae. It had grown all over them. It's knocked it straight off them. It's cleaned them straight up. And the basket's not too bad now either. It's taken it off that. And the top of my bottom drain, I'm not sure whether you'll see it is a bit cloudy in there, it's taken it all off the top of that. So anything that was plastic, it seems to have taken it off, but the rubber liner, it tends to have got a right old hold on that, and it's not coming off that. But I'm going to give it a bit more of a bashing with the pond vac and then give it time to clear. So we'll see how that goes. So what I will do is just switch the pond vac on, let it fill up, and just show you how that works. Right, so I'll switch the pond vac on as if we was hoovering. I've just got it in the pond at the moment. I'm not hoovering anything up, just to show you what happens. And you will see when the hoover cuts out, or when the pond vac cuts out. It'll stop any minute once it's full. The valve will open up. Because this is lower than the pond vac, it opens up and the water drops onto the mesh. That's slowly pushing the algae into the chamber at the end, and that takes out any algae. There's not a lot of algae in the water, obviously, because I'm not hoovering, but that's how it works. And that's the algae it's taken out, plus that chamber at the bottom's nearly half full of algae as well. So I'm going to give it some more and see how it goes. Well, good morning everybody, and what a glorious morning we've got again today. Absolutely fantastic. Let's have a quick look at the fish, see what's going on in there. There's quite a bit of glare on the pond, so I'm not quite sure. I can't really see on the screen of the camera because the sun's on it, but I'm hoping you can see the pond. It's about a week now since the actual cloverleaf treatment. Like I said before, it has knocked it back, but it hasn't cleared it up. Whether I give it another dose or not, I really don't know. It wasn't too bad. The RDF soon got it cleared up and sorted out, but still, whether I want to mess my pond up again or not, really, I suppose. I should be okay to treat again now, but I've got my umbrella up the other end just to give them a bit of shade. It just shades off that. It's on the other side of the pond at the moment, but it shades off an area so they can go out in the sun if they want. Don't forget, fish can get sunstroke, so they can get out in the sun if they want. But that's the pond at the moment. I have actually got the rest of the garden all cleared up. It's into the sun this, so I'm not quite sure whether you'll see it, but I did get all that done. That's all tidied up. So I've been busy. I really want to get the feed and the pump sorted out to the actual protein skimmer itself, but to be quite honest, I don't fancy being stuck in a shed while the weather's like this. That's the thing. I do like to be out and about in the sun, really. I'll potter about and find myself something to do. It's a Sunday, so I don't want to be doing too much. I know I'm retired, but I still like a day off. But that's the pond as it is at the moment. As you can see, most of them's down there under that brolly, under the shade of the brolly, so they do like to get out of the sun. The lilies are coming. They're starting to come up now. I don't really know why the leaves are so small this year. They're usually a lot bigger than that. I did show you them last year. There was one off that lily as big as a dinner plate, but they're up to the surface, although they're small. That'll give the fish a bit of cover. And the one down there, that one's got leaves coming on it, if you can see it. That's got several leaves coming off that now, so that's coming. The little one at the end there is a couple of leaves in the pot, but whether it'll come to anything or not, I don't know. If it doesn't after this year, I shall take it out, to be quite honest. The plants I'm struggling for this year, can't get any. But that's the pond as it is at the moment. I'm not sure what the pond temp is. We'll have a look at that. As you can see, I'm still in a right mess in here, but we'll have a quick look at that. This is after cleaning the bottom of the garden up. Oh, that's not too bad. We're 15 degrees, so that's not too bad. That's not far out. It's about 24 outside. We're 15 in the pond, so no wonder they're feeding well. I haven't had, well, as you can tell, the top of the RDF up for about a week and a half. I really ought to clean that off and have a look in there. Just give me a second, I'll get rid of this lot off the top and we'll have a quick look in the RDF. Okay, that's got it taken off there. I haven't really cleaned it up. All I've done is actually stick it on top of the Backy River, but I've moved it off here. You can tell I don't have this lid up much. We'll have a quick look in here. Yeah, everything looks fine. It does want to clean out. I do like to keep this clean if I can, and like I say, it's been over a week since I've been in here, so that does want a bit of a clean, so I'll leave this stuff off the top and give it a bit of a clean out. In here, the mesh is all still nice, looking good. That UV light's done the trick in there, most definitely, and it has been chucking some muck out just lately due to the cloverleaf and the pond vac hoovering it out. So it has been working hard, so I'll leave all that stuff off there so I can get that clean out. I do like to keep it clean if possible. The moving bed, let's just see if we can have a look in there. Just put this stuff out of the way. That's the trouble when you've got somewhere like this, it's always a place to put all the rubbish. But in the moving bed, everything's good in there. Everything's moving well. Nice drop of air going in there. The actual pump is a 60 litre a minute pump, but it runs 5-inch air stones on the pond as well. That's this one here. None of these are working, and that's the one I run in the winter, the 35 litre a minute pump. So that's what pond pumps I'm using. Now, just a bit of a tip for you guys that don't know. Air pumps, if you ever fit your air pumps, if at all possible, always fit them higher than the water level on your filters, for the simple reason, as your airline goes into wherever you're pumping air into, something like this where my airline comes in here and down to the bottom, when you switch your pump off, there will be a back rush of water. If you don't have a check valve down there, there will be a back rush of water come up that pipe, and very often as it rushes up, it will come over and back down and start siphoning, and it could siphon back to the pump and will actually wreck your pump. So it's always best to fit your air pumps higher than the water level in your filters to stop this happening. You're okay while it's pumping, but the minute you switch it off, the back rush of water could trigger a siphon, and it will siphon back to your pump and wreck your pump. So if it's not possible to fit your pump higher than your filters, if you're outside or something like that and you want to fit it lower, that's fine, but do make sure you fit a non-return valve in there. A one-way valve, a non-return valve, so the water cannot back up. And it does help as well, it'll help your pump, because when you switch your pump on, if the line has filled up with water, your pump's got to clear all that water before it can start pumping the air. Whereas if you've got a check valve on there to stop it doing that, your pump can pump air straight away. It hasn't got any water to clear from the line. But it's always best to fit them higher if possible, and that eliminates any chance of backflow or siphoning or anything like that, and it doesn't put your pump at risk of getting flooded. As you know, I've not got that connected, but I'm not far off now. It's been a sunny day, so I didn't want to get shut in the shed, but I've got all the bits virtually ready to get it struck up, so I'm going to do that, I think. I want to get this cleared out a bit in here, so I'm going to get that done, get it tidied up. With all this work I've been doing outside, it's got a bit of a mess in here. Right guys, we're down here in the big shed. I've come down here this morning because it was really cloudy and horrible outside, so I thought the perfect time to come and try to get the connections to this protein skimmer sorted out. And if you look outside, it's bright sunshine. It's cleared up and the sun's come out and it's lovely out there. So the job so far, I'm going to come out of the moving bed with this. This is the pump now. It's a 6,500 litre an hour pump. Whether that'll be big enough is the big question. Will it do the job? I'm not sure, because it's got a lot of pumping to do, especially once I add air with it. So I might have to change that out for something a bit bigger. All this will be in the moving bed. I've had to put these cages on it, these filter cages, for the simple reason there's all the media in the moving bed and I don't want that going up it. So instead of just adding one, I wanted to add two, so I put a sweeping T on that. You can see that, a sweeping T, so it's drawing from the two, which should give it a bit more of a chance. And then into the pump, then it comes up, and from here it's going to join, hopefully, to the flexi hose down there. So it'll come out the moving bed as flexi hose in to this piece here. So the flexi hose will connect to this here. It then goes into a non-return valve, because if the pump does stop for some reason, I don't want all that water flowing that quick back into the moving bed. It might overflow. There's two cages in there, it probably wouldn't, but then again it's a precaution. So I put a non-return valve in there, or a one-way valve, and then this will go into the tap on the bottom of the actual protein skimmer. That's the idea. Will it work in practice? I don't know. I really don't know, but it's all ready now. I can take that up and actually fit it, and then all I've got to do is the outlet, which shouldn't be a lot of problem at all. The main bit was the inlet. Now this here is the airline that I've connected into it. I have actually cut that as a taper underneath there, so hopefully the air will be distributed into the pump, and the blade of the pump will chop it up into fine bubbles, we hope. This is the idea of it. On this end of it I've got a tap, so I can actually control how much air I do allow into that pipe. So that's putting the air into it. Whether that'll work, I don't know. Like I say, this is just one big experiment. We're going to have to see how it works, but that's the setup. So I've got all this done, so I'm going to take it up there now and see if we can get it fitted into the moving bed and onto the protein skimmer. Okay, we're up here in the filter house. I've got the top off the moving bed. I've got the flexi hose now fixed to the pump, and the pump's ready to drop in. So I'm going to do that next. We'll get the pump in there, and then I'll organise getting the actual flexi hose fixed to the protein skimmer. Okay, everything's in there. Now I'll just get the connection to the actual protein skimmer. I'll fetch that up and we'll get that on. Right, okay, that's the feed all in. This is temporary, don't forget. I'm only doing this just to see how things go and how it works. I didn't want to start drilling bulkhead holes. This is just a test setup. So I've got it out on the flexi pipe down, and it's now connected to the one-way non-return valve that goes into the actual protein skimmer. So now all I've got to do is just connect the return, and I suppose we can give it a run, see what happens. Okay guys, we're going to switch it on. The outflow's all connected onto the moving bed. It should be all systems go. I've got the bottom tap open and the top one closed at the moment. The waste pipe's closed, so we're going to see if we can put some water in it. It might lack a bit of water because I'm going to be draining this off the moving bed, so I'll just have to see how it goes. So here we go, let's see what happens. Oh, I can hear it. We've got water going through. Can I see it? Not quite. Can't see it going in, but it's definitely getting a feed. So now it's a matter of, yeah, as I thought, it's drained the moving bed a bit. I just have to see how that copes. Just keep looking, see if I've got any leaks anywhere. Doesn't look too bad up to now. So, oh, wait a minute, we'll have to switch it off a minute. I didn't notice. I don't know whether you guys can see that, but the water level's up to here already. So we've got, by the looks of it, a cracking feed in there. So now I just have to open this tap a bit and see what return we get. That's now draining back out, so I'll see if we can balance it up. So back on, the water's rising, it's too quick. It's dropping now, that's okay. Screw this back up again. See if we can now control the water level. I've just got to change that end on there by the looks of it. Let's start to tighten it down again. See if we can lift the water level a little. And it is. Can we control it is the question. Don't know whether you guys can see it. Let's see if I can get you in a bit closer so you can actually see the water level. There it is, look. So the water level's here in the protein skimmer. Now can we get it a little bit higher? I would like it a little bit higher. That's the thing about these valves, they're so controllable, it's unbelievable. So we'll just turn it a little bit more. I'm trying to look round for leaks at the same time, just in case. But heck of a flow through it. This pump is a lot better than I thought it would be. We'll bring it up a bit more. I want it nearly to the top of that. So I'm going to just undo it slightly. Try to hold it there. That seems to be holding. I've just got to sort the end out. I did put a 45 on there and it's spraying it everywhere, so I've just got to put a bit of straight pipe in that to stop it chucking water everywhere. So I'll sort that out and be back with you. Okay guys, we've been running about 15 minutes now. The return is excellent. It's moving a lot more water than I thought it would, having to lift it, what's that, about a metre, not quite a metre probably. but the water level in the moving bed comes across here somewhere, so it's lifting it a fair old amount. I must admit, we're holding a spot on, I hope you can see, a spot on water level in there. So everything is working lovely, apart from I've opened the air tap and we're getting nothing. I think it's getting the water too easy from them 2 filter cages I put in. I maybe should have only put 1, and which would have made it have to suck that a little bit harder. So it's not, that's not working. And I've got a tiny little leak on that joint there, coming from here. I've got a tiny little leak there. So I might just leave that. It's only 1 drip, not that often really, so I'm going to leave that, see if it seals itself, because they often do. It's only the outflow, that. But apart from that, everything's working alright. I might have to just drop an air stone in there and put a pump on it. But I would have liked to have got that drawing air through the pump as well, because it's moving loads of water. A lot more water than I really want to, so drawing a bit of air could slow it down a little bit, so I'll have to look into that one. But it is up and it's running. It's just a matter of sorting the air out now and making it so it draws its own air. But we've got a great water level in there, and I can adjust that ever so easy. So that's really, I'm really pleased with that, and I'm really pleased that there's not water going all over the place, so I'm quite pleased with that as well. So I'll have a play about with it and see if I can get some air into it. Well guys, after the run yesterday, overall I was really pleased with it. It went really well. Apart from the air, it isn't sucking air like I was hoping it was going to. That's got to be abandoned. It's not getting enough suction on the airline to draw air in. So I've now got to look to a pump. I did try putting a pump on it, but I haven't got a big enough air stone. I've only got a tiny air stone. So I've ordered some, so hopefully they'll be here tomorrow or the day after. I've ordered a couple to drop in there so that I can really get some air moving in there. I wasn't creating enough air. It did sort of start to splash the dome up, but it wasn't enough to create enough bubbles. That's on the sidelines for a couple of days until I get them here and get that sorted out. So it's all shut down for the moment. Controlling the water in it was spot on, absolutely excellent. I can adjust that water level to within 1/4 of an inch. Them taps are incredible for something like that. So everything went really well. I've just got to get some air into it. So I'm quite pleased with it. Definitely pleased with it. We'll just wait for the air stones to get here and then we'll give it another whirl. Well guys, after the big protein skimmer trial yesterday, as you can see, we're not going to get a lot done today. It's chucking it down, plus I'm waiting for my air stones anyway. But that brings us to the end of another video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you did. So all that leaves me to say is you all take care, stay safe, thanks for watching, and enjoy your pond.